so it's been 15 to 20 minutes. Is it feeling pretty hot?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
Alright, so let's go ahead and take it off. Let's take this off. Let's take the paint off. Lift your hips for me. Thank you. Alright. I'm gonna take this off. Let's set it over here. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the stretch. I want you to go ahead and do this at home too. It's really easy. Let's go ahead and show you. Can you roll onto your back?
Yeah.
Making sure to keep it straight. Roll straight. Good job. Alright. Is that okay? Are you comfortable on your back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the piriformis does external rotation of the hip, but at 90 degrees, it turns into an internal rotator. So we're gonna stretch at 90 degrees going up. You're gonna go into external rotation, but it's still, you should feel the stretch right there in that area, okay? Alright, so what I want you to do is bring your right leg over your left, okay? And then can you reach behind your knee here?
Yeah.
And then bring it up until you can feel the stretch on your right side. Do you feel the stretch on the right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is it about the area where you want it to be?
Yeah.
Alright, and you can do this for like 15 to 30 seconds, times 3 times, 3 to 5 times, depending on how much you want to do, and you can do this like once or twice a day.
Got it.
Okay, so I want you to make sure that you're stretching your piriformis at least twice a day right now, just in case. Good job. Alright, so now we're going to go straight into exercises.
Okay.
Can you turn back onto your side for me? Good job. Good neutral posture. Alright, so we're going to go work on the external rotation. I also want to strengthen the piriformis because a lot of the times it does need to be stretched, but a lot of the times it does need to be strengthened so that it's not so much load on it and it can actually learn to relax and not have be so much, it could be stronger to do external rotation. So keeping your feet together just like you're having and your knees bent really good. I want you to bring the top knee up towards the ceiling and then back down, making sure to keep your feet together at all times. Good job, and then back down, and you can hold up once you're on top if you want to make it an extra harder. Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel any pain?
No.
Okay, so I want you to do this about 12 to 15 times. If you think you can do that many reps, it shouldn't be too hard. So 12 to 15 times 3 I think is good.
Okay.
And I want you to do this at home also, like once or twice a day. Alright, and if you do want to make it harder, you can also put a wrap in between right here, and then it'll make it really hard. But for right now, I want you to just start with this. Maybe next session we can add a band and see how that works.
Okay.
Alright, can you turn onto your back for me? We're going to do another exercise. Good. Okay, let me get a band. Okay, so first I'm going to show you how to find your neutral spine. It's really important because the piriformis is connected to your sacrum, which is pretty much like back here. So that's connected all the way up to your spine. So by having good posture, it's going to help it from being, in a good position and not being over-tightened or overstretched, okay? So let's put this band around your feet here. Okay, so for neutral posture, act like your pelvis is going up to 12 and down to 6, okay? Can you go up to 12 for me? Good job. And then down to 6. Good job. Do you feel any pain?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I want you to go up to 12 again, and then halfway to 6. Good job. A little bit more to 12, right there. So that's your neutral. I want you to try to keep that position, okay?
Okay.
All right, so when you lift your hips up towards the ceiling, I want you to squeeze your bottoms. That way you can strengthen all the way around your glutes, all the way, and you're gonna strengthen some core because you're gonna try to keep your core tight by keeping this posture here.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and come up. Good job, and then can you point your knees both to each side? Just like that, really good. And then come back in. Okay, so come back up, point your knees out, and then bring them back in. Bring them back in both, and then drop. Good job. Let's try that one more time. Come up, and then bring knees out, bring them back in, and then come back down. Is that too hard? Is that okay?
That feels good.
Okay. Now come up again, making sure to keep your core tight, glutes tight, bring your knees out. It's getting the external rotation, bringing them back in, and then coming back down. So you can do these about 10 times, and then like 10 times times 2, I think it's a little bit harder. If you start to get good at it, you can also hold into external rotation to make it more of a piriformis muscle strengthening.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll do this about two times a day.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
Let's go ahead and take these off. so now we're gonna go into some posture education. Like I said, it's all connected to your spine, your sacrum, so it's really important that you have good posture so that you don't get too much strain on the piriformis. Just like I showed you, keeping neutral. Can you find neutral? Good job. Good job. That's really good. So, do you sleep on your back or on your side?
On my side.
Okay, can you get into your sleeping position so I can see it? Okay, so that's good. Try to have good 2 pillows so that your spine is straight, because if you only have one, it might drop a little bit because your head shoulders. Okay, and I want you to also have a pillow in between your knees at all times when you're on your side like this, so that you really do keep a straight spine. Is that comfortable?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is probably the best way for you to sleep. All right, so let's take these off. I want you to get up off. For getting up out of bed, it's really important that you don't bend or rotate your spine at all. I want you to try to keep it straight, like if you have a rod in the back of your back, you're trying to keep it straight when you sit up. So just like this, when you're on your back, I want you to log roll. It's called the log rolling technique. Log roll onto your side, try to keep it all in one motion. Don't bring your knees first or your shoulders first. Keep your shoulders and your knees moving at the same time, okay?
Okay.
And now that we're here, I want you to kick your feet off, and then I want you to push, not yet.
Okay.
I want you to push up with your elbow, push up with your hand, and try to sit up with good posture. Try not to rotate or move your spine over to one side more, okay? Can you kick off and push up at the same time, keeping your straight spine? Good job. All right. Okie doke. All right, let's see how you stand. You stand up for me. For neutral posture, it's important that you stand up with even weight on both feet. I don't want you to be too much on one side like this, because then you're putting a lot of pressure on one hip, or on the both sides. Even if it is on the left, I'd rather you just be standing straight. You can think about keeping your shoulders back, keeping your chin up. If your ear should be at the same level of your shoulder, then you probably are having good posture. How you look right now, I think, is pretty good. Making sure not to overarch your spine or over round your spine, just keeping a good straight back, which is looking pretty good. We're gonna go over lifting a heavy object. Okay. To prevent you from getting hurt again, this is kind of a heavy object. I want you to always have your feet as close to the object as you can, keeping the object close to the body, as close as to the body you can while you're bringing it up, because if you bring it out, then you're putting on all through your spine. If you keep it close, I want you to lift up through your legs. So if you're like this or like that, then you can tell that's putting all the pressure. So making sure you have a good base of support, keeping the load close to you, making sure that your knees don't go up farther than your toes do.
Okay.
When you come down, and making sure you keep that nice straight spine. Okay. So go ahead and try that. Is it too close?
Yeah, a little bit.
Good job. Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
Did that hurt?
No.
Alrighty. One more thing that I want to go over with you is how you sit. Do you work sitting a lot?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and sit in this chair here. So one of the most important things is to not to keep your knees at a 90 degree. So how you are right now, that's a very good 90 degree. If you have your legs up higher, then you're putting all the pressure through your bottom, and that's gonna put a lot of pressure on the piriformis. And keeping your legs down is gonna put pressure right here under your knees, so that's not gonna be comfortable. Making sure that your feet are flat on the floor just like they are right now is really good. Making sure that your shoulders are back, chin is up just like that. So just getting those cues, I want you to always be thinking about keeping your neutral spine. One good thing to do it is to get one of these. You can always like roll up a towel and tape it up and use the towel instead of buying something like this, but this is called a lumbar roll. You can lean forward for me, maybe scoot up a little bit. Okay, and then sit back. So that's gonna kind of remind you to keep your shoulders back, keep a good posture while you're sitting. So it's always good to use that. Even if you just roll up a towel, it's probably really good feedback for you. Okay. Also, I don't want you to cross your legs. I know you like to cross your legs sometimes. Do you do that sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
See right there, you're doing external rotation. It's putting a lot of pressure on the piriformis. I also don't want you to put a wallet in your back pocket, because it's also gonna put pressure. They say that can cause piriformis, so let's try to not do that. And it's really important that you stand up every 15-20 minutes. If you can't do 30 minutes, that's fine. Stand up, walk around, you know, just, or even if you are really stuck in your chair and you're so busy that you can't get up, just kind of do some motion, do some knees, do some pelvic tilts, just like you were showing me. So if you could do it right here, just like that. Good job. Just to get some motion in that area, keep the joints nice and filled with synovial fluid from the movement. I think we're pretty much good. So what's your pain level right now?
I would say it's a 4 out of 10.
It helped with the hot pack, you think? Good. So yeah, so just really make sure that you try to do those at home and, you know, do the stretching, do the exercises twice a day, stretch for 15-30 seconds times 3, and do the exercises, you know, 12 if you can. 12 reps would be good, 3 times, twice a day.
Got it.
Okay, and then just remember to keep good posture. It's gonna help you from preventing to get hurt again.
Great.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.